Hello. My subject today is the alphabet, the Latin alphabet. Edward Said, the late Edward Said, wrote of what he called Orientalism was the systematic, methodological erasure of Arabs, and particularly Palestine and Arabs, the Arab civilization, from Western history, Western historiographers did that. They erased Arabs systematically. And to such an extent has that been done that the Western public is probably the most duped public in the world. They really don't know anything about themselves. It's extremely thorough, and you would be amazed to what extent anyone would do such a thing and why. Would you even go to the extent you would erase something even from the alphabet itself, from the letters that you speak with? We'll see if they've done that or not. So, to begin with, you have to know, I'm not going to go through it's a long story. I'm not going to tell you the whole history, every single page of it. I'll give you an example. Now what we're dealing with now is letters. And what got me here is a discussion between two French scholars, and one of them told the other, well, in French, there are more Arabic words than there are French words, or particularly Gaul, the original inhabitants of France. And then another discussion between two Zionists about Hebrew, which is supposed to be the opposite of Arabic, the complete enemy of everything Arabic. Turns out the language is based on Arabic grammar, Arabic structures and usage, even the poetic meters are Arabic, and the lexicon is the Arabic dictionary for Hebrew. And of course, most Jews don't know that. But Jews are a limited number of mainly people who identify with religion. But just normal Westerners don't know where their alphabet really comes from. So we're going to explain that. Now I'm going to give you an example of Western historiography, just an example, what they call etymology, the history of a language. So this is from Britannica, the letter R. 18th letter of the modern Latin alphabet, corresponds to the ancient Semitic resh and perhaps is derived from the early hieroglyphic representing a head, the classical Greek, Thera, Attica, Corinth, Chalcidian. Going through it's a long article on one letter. They have similar ones on all the letters of the alphabet. Goes on, P form letter occurred in the Lydian alphabet, Mediterranean regions, Umbrian, Oscan, Etruscan, Irish, and this is just the beginning of the art. That's a simple example of it's the first paragraph of one entry of one letter. So you're not going to survey all of Western historiography's etymology of the Latin alphabet, but I'll give you an abridgment here on the board. The alphabet begins somewhere in Egypt and also has something to do with Iraq. So what they would call, Mesopotamia. Iraq will be called Mesopotamia, not Iraq, which is the Greek for it. You know, this is hieroglyphic, hieroglyph, and this is cuneiform, which is the Iraqi script. And then it goes from there somewhere to Syria, Palestine. And probably in Syria, Palestine, you've heard here of Aramaic, Hebrew, and other dialects. In Syria, you've heard of Syriac, probably, or not. I'm sure you've heard of this, Phoenician. And then from here they go to, well, it somehow reached the Greco-Romans, Greek and Rome. And this is approximately, now you have the same stuff here, a lot of dialects after that, but we're concerned with this. This is where it becomes Western. Now all of this is unnamed. All of what Greece and Rome have taken is not given an identity. It's called different things. And this is just an abridgment. But if we were to analyze it, this is an Arab country. Egypt is, these are the countries. This is Iraq, Syria, Palestine. This is occupied. They made this Orientalist map, Western historiography. At that time, this was Palestine, Roman. Of course, at the time that the Greeks and Romans adopted this alphabet, this was Palestine. So also Arab, 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 Arab. So all of these countries are Arab. So couldn't we have made all of this sort of maze easy if we just said, well, it went from the Arabs to Greece and Rome, and we don't need all of this, do we? Well, is that the case? Is the Arabic alphabet the Latin alphabet? See, all of these alphabets don't exist. This one does, and it's still in use. So let's try it, because that's the only thing they took out. It looks like they're going into a lot of trouble to erase Arabic, Arab. All of this is Arab, but no, it's not. So let's see if it is or not. The Arabic alphabet has 3 systems of correspondence. It corresponds, of course, to numbers. The Arabs used to calculate using letters, so the letters correspond to numbers. And they have an order in the way they're set. So there's an order for the letters, consecutive, and then there's the words. They've grouped the alphabet into words without altering the numbers or the consecutive order. So you have a cross-reference for seeing if these two alphabets correspond. Could it be that the Latin not only corresponds just to the sounds of the letters, but it also corresponds to these 3 systems, these 3 Arabic systems of correspondence? Let's see. These are the numerals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the Arabic numerals which the West has adopted without, they're still called Arabic. They try to sometimes, they're from India, but they're Arabic and they're called Arabic. So we're not going to get into the Orientalism here. Just the letters. So after 10, they're multiples of 10. The letters correspond to multiples because that's how the Arabic decimal system is. It's decimal. So it becomes 20, 30, so on. So it's repetitive. We will be concerned just with these 10. And then you have the letters themselves. And then of course this is the Latin correspondence. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and then here I'm going to keep this in a box. Then you have Q, R, S, T, and then these 2 in a box. Now, this is the Latin alphabet as it originated. Why did I do this? Why did I stop here? Well, I put 2 boxes here. because the original alphabet was 21 letters, not the current number, and the O and P don't exist in Arabic, so I can't compare them, and nor do the X and V. These were added on. Now this is the Arabic alphabet that I'm trying to compare to, and the corresponding numbers, but we still have another form of correspondence, which are words. So this word in Arabic, the first four in Arabic is called, it's the word, it's called abjad, abjad, and these four are a word, these three are a word. So in Arabic you didn't have to memorize letters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you just said abjad, hawaz, hutti, kalaman, and you know the alphabet in 6 or 7 words. Let's try any letter. Let's begin with a letter. Okay, this letter from the word abjad, well, A is an A. So the correspondence here is fine. A with an A. A goes with the A. Okay. What about the second one, B? Abjad. The word abjad. So this is B. So this is fine also. Now the last one, the number 4, abjad, D. D. What does this sound like if I make a word out of it? Abkid. If you pronounce the C like a C, it becomes absid, or like a K, it's abkid. It's not abjid. However, in Old English, this was pronounced ch. So this sounded like abjid, abjid. It's the same word. So this is Old English. In Old English, this equals a ch. The first word, you have the numerical correspondence is 100% correct. As for the word correspondence and the order. Okay, let's try randomly anything else you like. I could have continued here, I'm going to do that. The Arabic continues this way, in the same order, in the same. Now here you have a void for these letters, and then the Arabic continues again. And these are words also. These 3 and these 4. Let's try and see now. The alphabet has ended here. The Latin, the Arabic goes on. Let's try anything at random. Are they in the same order? And as a result, they will correspond to the same numbers. Let's try this one, for example. What's this? In Arabic, this is n, and in English, it's n. Okay, what's this? In Arabic, this is s. This is s. We have the empty box here. Seems like they're going to correspond perfectly. Let's continue with the words then. Numerically and in order, they're the same. Let's see the words. The second Arabic word is hawz. Hawz. So it doesn't look like afig, does it? Hawz, afig, they don't look like the same. It doesn't look like this is going to work. This one, so it doesn't look like they're going to correspond, but this in Greek used to be pronounced H. So the Greek for that is H, which is the same. And then you have in Arabic this is w, hawz, w. But this is F, isn't it? Actually it was w in Greek, where this alphabet comes from. Okay, so then what's this one? Oh, this is G, isn't it? Not Z. Hawz, this is Z. No? In Old English, this was Z. Old English. So, now you've got hawz. So this sounds like I said, chid. And this sounds like hawz. what does this one sound like? Well, before we get into that one, let's leave this space empty because I needed to explain this. Let's continue. This is in Arabic, kalimun, kalimun. What does this sound like? Kalimun. The correspondence is exact and the words are exact. Kalimun, kalimun. K-L-M-N. These are the sounds of these Arabic letters. And of course, it's the same word. So obviously, the correspondence on the three levels is perfect. The letters, the numbers, and the words. We don't have OP in Arabic. The last word, this is pronounced in Arabic, qurst, qurst. Qurst. You don't have this q sound in English, so it's always replaced by a Q, like in Quran, you say Quran. So this is Q, this is R, this is S, and this is T. So this word is that word. Perfect. Now, this sounds like, in Arabic, sounds like H, T, I. T. Now in Arabic there are no vowels. Short vowels are not written as letters, so that's why these sound this way. T. This sounds like Hij. Now you have the same H at the beginning here. This corresponds correctly, number 8, to H, because it's like when you say Muhammad in Arabic, you say Muhammad in English because you don't have an ha sound. So they replace it with an H. So this is correct, but what's the one underneath? This is a T, isn't it? Should be a T. Look at this. This is an I. And this should be an I, but it's a J. Why is that? Why does it all work, but this doesn't? Well, the reason for that is what I call the iota tau mix-up. Iota and tau. Now this is Greek for I and T. But in Greek, this is how they were written. This used to be an I, and this used to be a T, and later on the Romans added a J. So they're all exactly the same, aren't they? Except you have to make this a bit smaller to be an I. So as you can see, it's easy to mix up. I, T, and J are easy to mix up. And the reason you can also see that it's still the mix-up still exists because every Arabic I, an Arabic I, like something like in Arabic, Johann is John in English, but it's Johann, let's say in Dutch or probably Spanish, they pronounce the J as an I. Well, that's because of this mix-up. So it was originally an I. So you can see that. It still exists, but what you can't see is the T. So this is an I, originally. The Romans added this J. And it's still pronounced in many Western languages as an I. And this is a T because of this mix-up, because this and that. At some point the Greeks tried to solve this. They added a line below. So this is a T actually, and the H is a H, and you get T. Because of this mix-up, they correspond exactly. So this alphabet is our alphabet. It's alive and well, and we use it. This is the Arabic alphabet. So you see how simple this was? Why remember the beginning when I read a Western historian of Britannica's etymology of one letter? You have that for every letter. Why would anyone do that when you can do this? It couldn't be that these historians don't know that this is the same alphabet. They want to hide it. They don't want to call all these countries and all these dialects Arabic. They just don't want to. Exactly like the Jews don't want to call their language a copy of Arabic, an old copy of an Arabic dialect. Although the people who resurrected this old dialect, these people, they know it. Because I'm not getting these words from my own mouth. I'm just saying them, repeating them. They've been said by all these linguists. All of what I'm saying has been said. It's just been given different names. Probably the equivalence and the mix-up and all that stuff, probably. I haven't read it anywhere, but it should be. I mean, should be there somewhere. So why would anyone do that? Well, because all of the universe's matter and meaning. If your numerals, which you use to calculate matter in the universe, to think quantitatively, are Arabic, and also your letters, which you use to think qualitatively, are Arabic, then what do you have? What have you produced? Nothing. You've taken these two languages from the Arabs and then hidden them origins. Yeah, that's what you've done. Very similar to what the Israelis are doing in Palestine, but on a grander scale. Well, you shouldn't be duped into all of this nonsense of Western historiography, Orientalism. You should know the truth. This is the truth. Salam.